Means a lot of things to a lot of people, depending on where you sit in the network. In my particular instance, network transformation means the outside plant local loop. So for my space, where I'm trying to convert copper to fiber in all our wire centers, our biggest recent success is completing 6 of them, start to finish. 100% fiber, no working copper. This year we have scaled to 44, and next year we'll scale to probably about 100. So off and running, so a lot of success in that space. I think probably one of our biggest challenges in this space are our legacy DS0 services to find the right like for unlike, either from a function and feature perspective or a price point difference. So that's one of our biggest challenges working with our enterprise and wholesale customer. So we always juggle with that internally as it comes to capital prioritization, where you're going to make the next investment. So I think as a part of it, I think we've gotten a lot better at being able to identify all the key metrics to determine where can we actually get a reasonable return on your invested capital. So whether it's density, who's the competition, who are you working up against, is it business, is it residential? So I think we've got a lot better insight with big data as to where we can make the right investment. But I think it goes beyond that, in that you have to also look at what are the OpEx benefits on the other side of the equation. Return on invested capital is important, but it's not the only story. So you tend to make it bigger, looking at cash flow and operational expenses can really prove in the case, because I think a lot of times we lose sight of total cost of ownership in the network, and all we focus on is the next capital dollar, and am I going to get the biggest bang for my buck in terms of ROIC. So it's always got to be a much bigger story than that.
So share, just for fun, share some of those metrics that help you prioritize.
Density, if you're going to make the decision to invest, at least in fiber, density is probably the number one.
It reduces cost per home pass.
Cost per home pass. Density is pretty much can't overcome it. It is what it is. Right? The makeup of businesses, how much business is in a particular geography. If it's really light in business, again, it can be kind of tough to prove in a certain area. So I'd say density and mix of business, residential are probably, and competition, quite honestly. Who are you going up against in that particular market? How entrenched are they? How much of the market do they already have? Are probably the 3 big key items. Seen with Verizon, I think we're an end game company. We've made the leap that it's essentially fiber or nothing. From early on, we've kind of bypassed some of the bridging technologies that I think we've seen out there in the copper space. We think fiber is the right investment, and we're able to support that fiber investment by going after the operational expenses that we have in our network. So as we think about network transformation, we go in, we make the investment in the fiber, but then you got to follow through on the migration and the decom to get all the operational benefits of shutting down that copper network. So whether it's the TDM switch and the power associated with it, the property taxes you pay on the outside plant copper that are sitting there parallel to your fiber network, installation and repair dispatches, and even the obligatory road moves that we have to do, moving all of our copper from this side of the road to that side of the road. It's huge capital avoidance when you start doing this, especially in places like New York City, where you have manhole systems full of copper. And we got to move all of our stuff for a city project. It's an enormous expense.
In Hummelstown, for example, how long does something like that take you?
So in our network transformation wire centers, they take 1, 2, or 3 years. It depends on how many prems have we already built with fiber, what do we have left, how many circuits, the complexity of the circuits. Hummel 10 was a 1 year.
That's pretty good.
But so they are all carved up into 1, 2, or 3 years. But
Wow.
yep. So early on, we're picking ones that they're highly built out from a fiber perspective, so we can go in and just get the momentum. Yep, get through it. But we touch every segment of our business: consumer, small business, enterprise, wholesale. You've got to deal with everybody, and you got to have the right solution set for all of them. So it goes all the way from comms to pricing, like for like.
Right.
All of it's hand tailored to meet each one of those segments.
So what's the most gratifying part of it?
It's actually amazing to see how many folks, once you are able to talk to them, are willing to come across. It's hard to get across to people. What is fiber? Why is it important? Why does it matter?
Right.
My phone has worked for 40 years.
Right.
I don't care. You know?
Right.
Once you actually talk to them, it's amazing. Most of them will come along with you.